Have you ever paused to reflect deeply on the month of your birth and the profound meaning it might hold? At first glance, this might seem like a trivial thought, a harmless topic brought up in casual conversation. But in the eyes of the psychological giant Carl Jung, the time of your birth is far from coincidental. It doesn't merely mark a date on the calendar. It could be a symbolic gateway offering a glimpse into the contours of your soul. Jung firmly believed that time itself carries symbolic power. Each month is not just a shift in climate, but also bears a unique psychological energy. It acts like a mirror reflecting your innate temperament, hidden talents, and emotional lessons you are destined to learn in life. This is not fatalism or astrological superstition. Rather, the psychological perspective that delves into human subconscious, a way to help us understand why we're the way we are. Imagine if you could grasp the psychological symbolism of your birth month. The patterns you've been repeating, the fluctuations in your emotions, and even the meaning you've been seeking in life might start to become clearer. This might sound exaggerated, but when you delve into Jung's theories, especially his insights on archetypes, collective unconscious, and the rhythms of nature, you'll find that this connection is actually logical and strikes at the core. In the exploration to come, we will delve into Jung's understanding of the symbolism of time, particularly the unique psychological energy each month holds. These energies may not be immediately obvious, but they subtly shape our character tendencies, emotional paths, and even the direction our souls yearn to reach. If you are someone who is interested in meaning, if you are tired of superficial labels and empty motivational phrases, and wish to touch upon more genuine, profound self-awareness, we invite you to subscribe to this channel. We don't provide standard answers, but we invite you to participate in the thinking. Who are you? Where do you come from? And where are you going? You will join a community that is awakening as we navigate through chaos together to find inner order. Take a deep breath, because what you are about to embark on is not just an interpretation of your birth month, but a journey about yourself. This isn't about using a month to label your entire being, but about helping you see that things that seem accidental have long been foreshadowed in the archetypal script of your life. As Jung said, the universe is filled with repeating symbolic patterns, which he called archetypes. They exist in everyone's dreams, myths, and collective memories, across all cultures and eras. And each of us is a unique combination of these archetypes. The natural seasons are the manifestation of these archetypal forces. Winter teaches us introspection and quietude. Spring brings vitality and burgeoning life. Summer ignites energy and creativity. Autumn guides us back to tranquility and integration. Each month carries a unique symbolic code within these cycles. It shapes not only the external world, but also subtly influences our inner rhythms. Now is the time to lift the veil on these symbols. Let's start from the psychology of time and rediscover ourselves. In Jung's view, the month of your birth is far more than just a date on the calendar. It's more like a mark, symbolizing the energy you carried the moment you entered the world. The light and shadow at your birth, the atmosphere of the season, whether the rhythm of all things is still or awakening. All these not only shape the ambience of your birth, but also quietly planted certain seeds in your psychological makeup. Jung always emphasized that time is not a cold linear path, but a flowing living cycle. Each month is like a note in a melody, carrying its own unique color and emotion. When you were born on one of those beats, you resonated with that part of the melody. This is not a chain of fate, but a symbolic hint, a psychological map you can refer to, helping you understand your unique rhythm and emotional structure. This map won't tell you who you are, but it will tell you where you might encounter yourself. It reveals not only the aspects you excel at, but also the lessons and shadows you are destined to face. In Jung's view, true freedom comes from deep self-understanding, and understanding the archetypal energy you resonated with at birth is precisely the starting point towards self-awareness. Have you ever considered whether the specific month you were born in has already set a subtle undertone for your life's journey? In Jung's theory of archetypes, each month symbolizes an expression of psychological energy. These symbolic patterns exist in everyone, but they are particularly pronounced in some individuals. Through them, we can gain insight into why certain life roles always captivate you, why some challenges repeatedly arise, and where your true strength originates. Next, we will follow the trajectory of time and embark on a symbolic journey from the cool contemplation of January to the hidden transformation of December. Each month carries a call from an archetype. In Jung's eyes, months are not just divisions of time, but rather chapters in the dialogue between nature and the soul. January, the archetype of the sage or elder. January is the beginning of the year, yet it is the quietest time in nature. Cold, solemn, and blank, it is as if the universe has created space for contemplation. This atmosphere gives rise to the sage archetype. Those born in January often exhibit a maturity beyond their years. They are naturally endowed with the ability for deep thinking, skilled at seeing the big picture and focusing on long-term visions. They may not always be loud or passionate, but when they speak, they can command others' attention and trust. However, every archetype has its shadow. The sage may become overly serious or cautious, disconnecting from vitality. Their challenge lies in learning to relax and let go, allowing spontaneity, humor, and joy into their lives. Let wisdom not only be a steady light, but also a warm fire. February, the archetype of the innovator or visionary. February is still within the embrace of winter, but already holds a potential of spring. It is an energy poised to break through, suitable for foresight and innovation. Those born in this month often possess forward thinking and originality. They are not content with the status quo, preferring to break old frameworks and view the world in their own way. They are explorers of the mind and challengers of systems. The souls of February are always yearning to see farther horizons. Yet, they may also feel lonely, as reality might not keep up when their thoughts soar too high. For them, one of the most important lessons is to learn how to connect inspiration with action, turning inner visions into tangible results. March, the archetype of the rebirth or awakener. March is the threshold of transition, the moment when the first light appears after the end of winter in the northern hemisphere. It symbolizes the first chirp of spring, as life quietly awakens from the stillness of the earth. Jung views March as a symbol of the rebirth archetype, moving from darkness into light, from hibernation toward growth. Those born in March often have delicate emotions and high intuition, as if they are naturally in resonance with the rhythms of nature. Deep within their souls lies a seed of art or spirituality. They possess the ability to recreate themselves, able to rise like a phoenix even after hitting rock bottom. However, this profound inner world can also become a labyrinth. They may get lost in the tides of emotion, blurring the boundaries between self and others. For those born in March, true growth lies in learning to set clear boundaries for their rich emotional life, grounding themselves in reality while their souls flow. April, the archetype of the creator or sower. April is the season when the earth completely breaks free from the shackles of winter. New shoots break through the soil, and all things are in motion. It is the starting line of life, the moment when all creative ideas take shape. Jung associates it with the creator archetype, an entity full of drive and vision. Those born in April are usually energetic and decisive, with a natural talent for turning inspiration into reality. They love to initiate and start new projects, being natural dream practitioners. However, if this creative fire is not tempered with patience, it can burn too quickly. They may easily fall into a cycle of starting many things, but rarely seeing them through to the end. The path to growth is to learn to cultivate perseverance within passion, allowing inspiration not only to bloom, but also to bear fruit. May represents the peak of spring's vibrancy. The world opens its arms, inviting us to feel and experience. Jung associated this month with the explorer archetype, symbolizing pursuit, flow, and yearning for the unknown. Those born in May are inherently free-spirited, like the wind, unwilling to be confined. They crave crossing boundaries and experiencing the breadth of life. They might be passionate about travel, knowledge, and social interaction, always seeking the next direction that ignites their soul. However, the constant pursuit of novelty can make it difficult for them to ground themselves. They easily lose focus amidst diverse paths. Their challenge is to establish coordinates while running, making exploration not just an escape, but a pathway to delve deeper into the world and their inner selves. June is a month when light shines brightest, marking the peak of long days and short nights. It also symbolizes the balance between light and emotion. In Jung's system, this month corresponds to the mediator archetype, a being naturally dedicated to harmony and connection. Those born in June are typically gentle, considerate, and highly inclusive. They excel at listening and reconciling conflicts, possessing a natural talent for creating a warm atmosphere in relationships. However, their tendency toward harmony can also lead them to sacrifice themselves. They are accustomed to accommodating others to avoid conflict. Their path to growth lies in learning to establish firm boundaries for themselves. They need to understand that true balance isn't sacrificing oneself for others, but achieving resonance through sincere expression. July is the heart of summer, symbolizing intimacy, belonging, and a rich emotional season. Jung assigned July to the guardian archetype, souls willing to take responsibility, give, and accompany others. Those born in July often possess warm hearts and keen emotional insight, naturally becoming the emotional center of their families, communities, or friend groups. They are willing to listen and they build emotional havens for others. But if this giving lacks boundaries, it can easily lead to self-depletion. They might neglect their own needs to accommodate others or suppress their true emotions to maintain superficial harmony. Their practice is to learn to care for themselves with the same deep affection they offer to others. They need to let love flow rather than deplete it. August arrives carrying the peak heat of summer. It symbolizes confidence, expression, and a sense of sovereignty. From Jung's perspective, it represents the monarch archetype, an innate energy of leadership. Those born in August often have a powerful aura and carry an air of leadership. They possess clear visions and an impulse to guide others. They desire to influence the world, not just for applause, but driven by a profound sense of mission to lead others toward higher goals. However, if the light of leadership lacks softness, it can easily become rigid or authoritarian. The challenge for August-born individuals is how to lead with power, not just authority, guiding teams with empathy rather than control. Their true strength comes from igniting others with humility and trust rather than dominating them. September is the season when light begins to soften. In the Northern Hemisphere, the world gradually transitions from the clamor of midsummer to the quiet of autumn. All things move from complexity to simplicity, as nature withdraws its exuberance and enters a state of introspection. Jung correlates this period with the archetypes of the philosopher or transformer, those who continuously question meaning and refine their souls throughout life. Individuals born in September often possess profound insight and a natural talent for abstract thinking. They excel at stripping away the surface to perceive the causes and patterns underlying life. They focus on knowledge and spiritual growth, often unsatisfied with superficial life rhythms. Instead, they yearn to transform life experiences into genuine inner wisdom. They're like autumn fruits, quiet yet full. However, the gift of the philosopher can also become a predicament. When thinking becomes too detached from reality, it can lead to isolation. When self-renewal becomes an obsession, one might lose stability amidst constant transformation. Their growth lies in translating abstract insights into concrete paths. They need to ground themselves amidst transformation. October sees the earth silently shedding its colors. Leaves fall like memories, and everything turns inward, brewing profound transformation. Jung viewed October as a time of the mystery keeper or healer archetype. This is a season for deep dialogue with the soul's shadows. Those born in October often possess an innate ability to connect with the invisible world. They are sensitive and have strong intuition. They excel at touching the truths beneath the subconscious. They understand the language of pain and also know how to accompany and guide gently. They can see the cracks where rebirth is possible amidst brokenness. They can evoke the shape of light even in darkness. However, this depth can also lead them to drown in solitude, or they might deplete themselves through emotional resonance. Their lesson is to establish emotional boundaries. They need to learn not to forget themselves while healing others. Their strength comes from the dual ability to both traverse the darkness and guide others back to shore. Those born in November possess a soul unwilling to submit. They have sharp intuition and can sense the subtle shifts indicating societal change. They are naturally impatient with injustice and unreasonable things. They are willing to stand at the forefront, ready to dismantle and rebuild. They might be reformers within existing systems, or they could be complete revolutionaries. However, if change agents only know how to break things down but fail to rebuild, they risk becoming isolated rebels. Their task is to sow the seeds of the future while dismantling the old. Their strength lies in not only revealing problems, but also nurturing solutions. They build bridges between destruction and rebirth. December is the final chapter of time. All things return to silence and light lowers. The inner world becomes clearer. This is the month of reflection and integration. It's a deep breath before the new cycle of life begins. Jung connected December with the integrator or completer archetype. These individuals possess the ability to turn chaos into order and guide life toward wholeness. Those born in December often have a multidimensional understanding. They excel at connecting, merging, and synthesizing. They see connections within fragmentation. They understand the integration behind contradictions. They are natural synthesizers and inheritors. They can extract essence from past fragments. They guide others and themselves toward a higher level of completeness. However, they might suppress genuine emotions in their pursuit of perfection, or they might compromise too much, losing their true selves. Their path to growth lies in accepting truth within imperfection. They need to embrace the sacredness in things as they truly are, with firmness and gentleness. In Jung's symbolic perspective, the birth month is not just a marker of time. It's also a mirror reflecting the deep structure of the soul. Each month, like a psychological beat within the natural cycle, carries unique energy and themes. The specific time of your birth might become the initial entry point for the manifestation of your inner archetypal energies. These archetypes are not rigid labels. Rather, they are a set of symbolic clues. They don't restrict you, but can inspire you. They don't determine who you are, but they can point towards who you might become. Just as the 4 seasons are not isolated, but a flowing, complementary whole. Each of us also carries the inner weaving of multiple archetypes. Understanding the archetype you resonated with at birth is not about fitting into a predetermined fate. It's about listening to your soul's unique melody within the rhythm of time. When these ancient symbols are awakened, they cease to be mere psychological concepts. They become the true compass for your life's journey.